The problems we're facing are huge. Not all the governments are taking this into consideration, and some of them are losing the path.
So, Juan Luis Castillo, you're the development director of Aqualia and gold sponsor of this Global Water Summit. It's the biggest one we've had so far, and it's really great to have Aqualia as the gold sponsor here.
Thank you. Global water is the most important. We need to be with you, we need to be part of you, and work together with you in making this sector more efficient and more resilient, what we need, because the problems we're facing are huge. Climate change is a fact, and it's affecting all the industry, all the sector. So we need to make a switch. We need to change.
What do you think Aqualia has to bring that's unique to these challenges that you're seeing in the market?
What do we need? We need a clear decision in the administration, in the governments, to go on with the concession and the PPP projects, so as we can deploy all this technology and all this money to invest, so as to renew facilities and make them more resilient and more efficient. So we also have the solution. We have the technology so as to design, to build, and to operate new water fabrics. So desalination plants and reuse plants. What else? Again, we do need good regulatory systems that permit Aqualia, our companies, to deploy all this technology, all this digitalization, and all this money to invest with a warranty to be returned in the mark in the framework of the contract. Yeah, I think this is our vision.
I suppose another thing which I've always thought about Aqualia, which makes it special, it is really a leader in the digitization of the utilities. And you had to say something about your strategy there.
Well, we had a decision, we took a decision. Digitalization is key for us. But we're not talking about only water leak detection or digital metering. We're talking about the whole system. We're talking about systems that integrate all the data along the services, along the water cycle, that permit in a predictive way. And we are saving a lot of money, because if you don't do so, you have to react and you have to prepare things. If you can anticipate to this, but you need a perfect system. We call Aqualia Life, which is the integrator that integrates all the billing, all the different systems, and we use this data so as to take decisions in advance of maintenance or operation. We have created many centers just to work with this system, and the result is getting great. But what do we need? We need strong governments who believe in this and permit long-term concession contract that permit the companies to develop this technology. We need a more flexible framework, and the concession contract is the key for me.
And do you think that things like climate change will change attitudes and people will start thinking, yes, we need to be thinking of longer contracts? Do you think climate will help your municipal clients rethink the way they engage with the private sector?
Yeah, absolutely. Climate change means strong problems, need to investment in new plants, create new systems from scratch sometimes, and this is costly. So you need long-term contracts so as to guarantee the return of the investment. Is the only way. You cannot only think that you could do this with budgets from the governments, because they have their limitations. So the PPP contracts are the solution, and obviously climate change is one of the triggers of this increasing need of investment.
So tell me a bit more about the investment side. I mean, how are you finding the sort of financing gap at the moment? Are you feeling that is becoming wider in water, and that there's more of a space for Aqualia to be offering sort of financing solutions?
The need of investment is every day higher. Not all the governments are taking this into consideration, and some of them are losing the path with this. So facilities are getting older and they're losing efficiency. Some markets should be better regulated in a more professional way. For example, in Spain, there are 8,000 municipalities, 8,000 regulators. Not all of them are professional regulators, and they're taking decisions about investment or tariffs at this point. But going to the other part of the question, of course, Aqualia has the position for us to attend this need. We have two strong shareholders, both of them focus in the growth of the company, in this steady growth that we have decided to do carefully, choosing very well which are our markets objective when we want to grow. But the decision of the shareholders is strong. We are financing Aqualia by a green bonus, and it was a great success how we did at the moment. Also, we did the same with GGU, our Georgian company. So we will be able to manage investment to the system.
One of the great success stories of Aqualia is what you've been doing in Georgia with the Georgian wood company. And,
Yeah.
And I guess that is, it shows, you find opportunities where nobody else does, and you also are able to bring a transformational story both with your technology and your financing ability. Can you tell us a bit more about?
Yeah, our plan is to go on growing in the markets that we consider that our objective. This is Europe, this is the Americas. South America has been great for us. US has been a great success. The Middle East for us is a must. We've been working there for the last 15 years, and we expect to go on and to increase our presence with different kind of contracts. But Georgia is something different. We capture the idea, we analyze it, and we say this is great. The regulatory framework is very good. The assets is good. The need of investment is high. We are so proud how this is working, and we're trying to repeat that kind of contact in the same territory and in some other territories in the world. Not getting out from what is our decision, just to grow where we feel comfortable and where we can create local platforms to work in a local way.
What do you say defines your approach to growth?
We want to grow in the markets we have defined as our objective. We acquired a company 2 years ago just to see how things work in the US market. And this has permitted us to increase our presence. And now we've been awarded with a contract for us to design, build, and ship there, after we construct them here, some modular plants for the great growth they're suffering in Corpus Christi.
Yeah, and that's an extraordinary example, that Corpus Christi crisis.
Yeah, well, they're working in their final solution, which is a very big desalination plant. But as this will last for long to be designed and built, we are working in this intermediate solution because they are suffering a lot. And we will be serving the first units in a few months. And this is another contract that we feel proud of, not for the size, but for what it represents.
And in terms of what you see about the future, I mean, what are your sort of priorities for the future?
Well, we want to go on growing. We have been awarded with a contract in Japan in the recent months, and this is great for us because it's something new, and perhaps this will be a Asia Pacific territory. We have very good contracts in the north of Africa also, that it's a good place to go on working, but we want to go on step by step, growing double figures as we're doing the last years. We have something we can offer to the market, and this is a decision we took 20 years ago when we decided to go international, and we weren't. We were a domestic Spanish company, but there was a point we decided we could do this outside of our borders, but in their way. I will say to all my colleagues in the companies, let's work together in make a more sustainable and efficient world, because we need it. And the way to do is to make the governments tender in BOT and concessions mode, so as we can deploy our technology, we can deploy our innovation, and we can deploy our capacity of financing, which is the only way we can advance the important needs that the sector has.